just need to make my going live tweet. And then we can get going on the GOAT. Alrighty. So this is Resident Evil 3. This is my absolute favorite game of all time. I think it's incredibly slept on. I think it's really underrated. I think the remake, while still being an okay game on its own merit, is nowhere near as good. And why is my controller not working now? Don't tell me we're gonna have some dumb stuff happening now. I'm gonna be very upset if I don't get to play this. Okay. Seems to be working now. Anyway, before I got lost on my train of thought, yeah, the remake kind of bastardized this. They cut a lot of content needlessly. It's just an overall drop in quality. But speak more on that when I'm actually playing that. Yo, what the hell is with the controller not wanting to work on this? Okay. So similar to what I did with RE1 and RE2, I am playing on the Japanese version. Which is actually kind of strange that it says Resident Evil 3 instead of Biohazard 3. This opening cutscene is so fucking rad, and I think sets a really cool tone. So I'm just gonna shut up and let this play.
No one dared to oppose them, and that lack of strength would ultimately lead to their destruction. I suppose they had to suffer the consequences of their actions, but there would be no forgiveness. If only they had had the courage to fight. It's true that once the wheels of justice begin to turn, nothing can stop them. Nothing. It was Raccoon City's last chance, and my last chance.
The way she says raccoon.
This is Chopper Delta, preparing to drop off at area E95070. Over.
What are they?
That cutscene is so fucking cool. So, this game is a big reason why I think Jill is, like, the best Resident Evil protagonist. The fact that she holds her own against the Nemesis in all of this is great. So, this game introduces the dodge mechanic. It it's okay. That is something that is significantly stronger in the remake. It's done by either readying or firing your weapon as you're about to be attacked. In panic situations where you're just kind of like mashing shoot, especially against like hunters, like it can happen a lot, like with Carlos's assault rifle,
The monsters have overtaken the city.
where you'll just accidentally get a bunch of dodges when you're trying to shoot.
I'm still alive.
But it does have its uses. And I'll talk about those uses when get to about the halfway point of the game.
Okay, we've got to get out of here.
What? What do you think you're talking about? I just lost my daughter out there. How dare you tell me to go back outside?
I'm sorry about your daughter, but there isn't going to be any rescue. We have to get out of here.
No! I'm not going anywhere. I'd rather starve to death in here than be eaten by one of those undead monsters. Now leave me alone!
Dario's scared. He's just gonna hide in there. So you can come back to this room after a certain point in the game. I do not remember what the threshold is off the top of my head. Like, I think it's visiting the tram for the first time, and that'll be open with a bunch, I think, like 4 gunpowders inside. So, the first big jump in quality, I would say, in this game that over 2 is the movement is so much smoother. Even compared to some games that came after it. I was actually playing a little bit of Resident Evil Outbreak earlier today, and man, this game feels so smooth and good to play compared to that. Knife in this game, pretty mediocre. It can be used. It's not anything special. It's not like a Code Veronica knife, which I'll go into how busted that thing is when I get to Code Veronica. So, chronologically, this game is a little weird to place because the beginning here takes place before Resident Evil 2. But this game ends after Resident Evil 2 ends. Which is pretty apparent given that the end of this game, well, a spoiler for a very old game, the whole city is just nuked. Like, it's gone. That is Brad Vickers. He's the fellow who flies around and takes 10 years to throw you a rocket launcher in RE1. One of the only Living Stars members left. So this game also is a lot more action oriented. If you can't tell just by the sheer number, I mean, this is, you know, one of the first enemy encounters, and there are, I think, 5 zombies total here. And they are being very uncooperative by not. There's no like specific reason to kill these guys. Like if I was smart, I would have just gotten bit and damage boosted through. But they also give you a shotgun, like right away. The damage is also significantly lower in this game compared to others. I'm still in green fine and I've been bitten like 4 times. That is not to say I won't take shitloads of damage later from things. But the zombie bites in general, Jill she handles it really well. Actually, being so used to the sluggishness of Outbreak is making controlling this feel weird. Another small Brad cameo here. I always thought that blue zombie right there kind of reminded me of Billy Cohen. So now we get to meet the actual big man himself. You don't need to help Brad. He will always kill the zombie. And your time is better spent getting this ammo. Another thing of note is just how much ammo you tend to get.
Brad, hang in there. Why isn't someone doing something about this?
I didn't know you were still alive, Jill. The police aren't trained for this kind of situation. What could they do? Listen, he's coming for us. We're both gonna die.
What are you saying?
You'll see. He's after STARS members. There's no escape.
So Brad is losing his fucking mind. He has seen shit that we haven't yet. He also brings up a point about the police not being, trained for this situation, and that's kind of like a little poke I see at like that opening cutscene of how they're dumb. Why didn't they aim for the head and all stuff like that? And it's like, I feel like if a zombie outbreak just spontaneously broke out, I mean, you just kind of have to try shit, like they they were just by definition not trained for this. So I feel like this scene here, one to teach you about environmentals, but I feel like they also wanted to show off how much they have improved, like their on-screen enemy counts. Because I mean, RE1 they couldn't do more than 3 zombies in a room, and this screen is like 8, I think, total. But nothing too crazy at the start of the game. You get to meet Brad. You get to learn about explosions. Say hi to some dogs. So I feel like I'm gonna fuck up the gunpowder. I do not remember exactly how I make freeze rounds, which is the best nemesis killing tool in the game. So I may just go magnum rounds for the sake of not being an idiot. So, similar to the remake, you'll encounter Nemesis several times throughout the game. He has a total of 7 items he will drop for you. So I'm also going to try and show off getting all those items. Although, looking at that, I think I'm going to need to go make some pistol ammo first. So the gunpowder system is interesting. I could have actually made a bunch of shotgun shells there. The the type of bullet you get is based on what the final gunpowder used in the combination is. So if you combine A and B together, it makes C. But if you have like two A's, you can add a B and it'll do AAB, and that'll give you a chunk of shotgun shells. Whereas you can do BBA, and that'll give you a chunk of pistol ammo. You can also get better at crafting. If I were to have crafted each of those pistol bullets individually, I would have gotten less overall. I would have only gotten 45 instead of 55. But I would have gained like 3 XP towards the cap of I think 7 to be able to make enhanced handgun bullets, which are really good, but you cannot use them with the enhanced handgun, which is better. Oh, here we go. The best cutscene.
Jill! We gotta...
Brad's death in this is 1,000, a million times better than it is in the remake. The way Nemesis says stars is also substantially better. So, always choose fight with the monster, if anything, to grab Brad's card. It's just better than going to have to go get yours. So now, we are going to talk about Nemesis's biggest weakness, which isn't the Magnum. It's not freeze rounds. Turns out the one thing that like really fucks him up is geometry. He gets stuck on corners. You can absolutely just straight up fight him, and there are a couple encounters with him that is how you have to do it. But at this point in time, I don't really have the armory to sit and go toe-to-toe with him. There's a very real chance I'll die doing this. But yeah, this corner right here, you'll get stuck on it yourself if you're not careful. He normally doesn't get off of the corners this often. He is being a slippery little guy today. But all of his drops are worth it, or at least the first 6. Yeah, he goes down once. It's not real. Don't fall for it. The music is still playing. Yeah, may have been greedy coming into this without a heal, but I really don't want to use a heal here if I don't have to. Oof. Okay. As long as he doesn't put me into danger, I'll be alright. He should be about dead. Yeah, there we go. So, if you're ever wondering if there's an easy way to deal with him, yes, there is. And I'll point them out where I tend to use them. You can't get him caught in the courtyard here. I've never been good at doing it. But like this little corner here, you can get him stuck on. I don't know, he just never does it for me. But anyway, yeah, two solid reasons to fight him there. You get Brad's card. Normally you would have to go to the conference room to get Jill's card. At least I think it's the conference room. It might be in the evidence room. I honestly cannot remember for the life of me the last time I went and got Jill's card. So a lot of police stations boarded up, and you can't use it. As cool as it would have been, it's just not meant to be. So similar to needing the blue card, but this time it's to get a code. Now, the puzzles in this game, they tend to have, not tend to, but they have a series of set, just like a set number of things they can be. So realistically, like especially like for speedrunners, they'll just have them all memorized and just brute force them. I don't have them all memorized, which is gonna suck in the clock tower. And, you know, for anyone who knows, they know. But I'll live with it. I'll live and die by it. So, really only have one course of route, or one course of action through this place. Whole point of coming into the police station is we need to get up to the STARS office and get my lockpick. My trusty lockpick given to me by the GOAT, Barry Burton, who a lot of people may not know actually makes a short appearance in this game if you get the canon ending. This game does have multiple endings, and the canon ending features Barry. So this is Jill coming in and finding Marvin after yeah, I don't know. I think this is before Leon and Claire show up. And this is what we need the code for. I need to let my cat in. Alrighty. And then can grab that on the way out. There's such a like unique number of zombie models that were added in this game. Like that woman zombie right there in particular really sticks out to me. Man, that dude fucking, he was on a mission. Yeah, so normally you'd have to go in that hallway and into the interrogation room. Not in the interrogation room, the conference room. And get Jill's ID card. And then in here, where you know, Claire and Leon get their costumes, you just get a little spot of gunpowder as a treat. Which gunpowder A, great. Alright, it's actually really useful because the upgraded handgun in this game fucking slaps. It is so good. This is one of the few Resident Evil games where I would say that the pistol is a viable tool the entire way through. At least if you get either the enhanced ammo or the enhanced handgun. So I guess one little tidbit that people may not know I haven't mentioned yet is this game was not originally intended to be a numbered sequel. It was originally intended to be a spin-off game. I'm glad that they made it a numbered title, because man, oh man, are there people that play these games that do not recognize them if they don't have a number in their title, apparently. The sheer number of people I see try and tell me that like Code Veronica isn't a mainline game is fucking wild. Like, that game is very canon and mainline, and I would argue very crucial to the overall story of things. So this is like the first like major bit of RNG in the playthrough. So you can get either the grenade launcher or the Magnum here. Got the grenade launcher. That is what would be considered the better option. Now, since I don't necessarily remember how to make freeze rounds, Magnum would have been cool, but it doesn't really matter either way. Don't really need to use either one at the moment.
No! Come anyone! Our platoon is cut off! No survivors found! This is Carlos! Send in support immediately!
Another thing you may see people talk about with this game is that Carlos is not the sex icon that he is in the remake. So that right there is a cool demonstration of a really good change I like in this game. Cool noise, by the way. So how she like shoved after I was hit there. In the older games, you could get caught in just like a chain of hits of being grabbed. And then they put that in as like a little failsafe, which is lovely. So Dad's here, and Dad's mad. And he's got his rocket launcher this time. This is another part that you can abuse his aversion of geometry on. Now, it's a bit risky since he has the rocket launcher. I'm going to try to not eat shit to it. But this bookcase, he's very allergic to this bookcase. It sticks out just enough. Oh, tried to bait a rocket there. Oh, that fuck ass. Yeah, I ideally want him to run out of rockets, because he'll occasionally go to aim and fire a rocket while he's right here, and that's not kosher. Alright, he's out of rockets now. So now I just have to worry about him getting off the books. Hooked on phonics, my dude. Wish I had more to say during this, but yeah, just the lesson and point I want to make here is that geometry is strong. Unless you're a fucking idiot like I am, right there. might be... Okay, yeah. Let's see, I'm only yellow caution. I shouldn't kill, but... Okay, now I'm in danger. This man has a haymaker that hits like a motherfucker. So, I also play fighting games. I love Marvel 3. I love Nemesis in Marvel 3 specifically. That haymaker is like one of his best tools. It's just great. So I'm purposely not reloading the handgun because I'm about to make the enhanced handgun. It's a weird thing in this game where you don't put the parts on the weapon like you would normally do in other games, but you just combine the two separate parts into an all-new weapon. So, if you pay attention to the background here, you'll notice a new enemy type that just went by. So those things, that particular version is called a Drain Deimos. There's another variation of it that's more like green and like chitinous, and those ones are called Brain Suckers. They're honestly not really threatening at all. They look really intimidating, but I'd say maybe they were like, you know, I'm not even really gonna try and quantify it because they're not really these dogs are more of a threat than those are. So this game really started like hiding items on corpses that just don't like shine. Okay, it's fine to not grab the wire now. Have to come back this way. Can always grab it then. Right, now the main focus is cleaning up the inventory. So I try and put items that no longer have a use just kind of up in fucking no man's land, just so I don't have to look at them anymore. I know some people meticulously sort these boxes. I do sometimes. I like it better if it's like meticulously sorted, but that is also a time. Gunpowders are good to have sorted, just so you can see what you have. It's like I could do a BBA right now for a nice chunk of handgun ammo, but this game throws a lot of ammunition at you. I honestly feel like it's best held on to for shotgun shells, because similar to this upgraded handgun, the upgraded shotgun is very, very good. Yeah, so we're at 2 out of 7 of the Nemesis drops. I don't need to grab the blue gem yet. Okay. So there's a bit of RNG in a couple of sections on like vehicle doors. The zombies can just kind of bust through whenever they feel like it. It could not happen at all. And, you know, that's just your life. Well, first actual encounter with the Drain Deimos. There's really no reason to fight it. I can hear Carlos popping some shots. Good on him, you know. Actually, didn't want to go this way. So this game has a lot of just small, like, I guess branching paths you can take. For instance, the restaurant here, and there is a press office I have to visit. And depending on which order I visit them in, determines which of them has like a Nemesis slash Carlos encounter and the jewel for the city gate. This first one, I don't really think there's a difference because I believe, yeah, both locations have an option to instantly down the Nemesis. This is just the one I've always done, so it's just muscle memory.
What's that?
Calm down, lady. I'm no zombie. My name's Carlos, Corporal of Umbrella's Biohazard Countermeasure Force. What's your name?
Jill, did you just say you belong to Umbrella's army?
Yeah. We came all the way out here to save you civilians, but the mission went bad the minute we
Calls
landed.
me a civilian. Psh. So a lot of the choices in this game are inconsequential. This one I think is very consequential. If you run into the basement, you are in for an awful time. You basically go in the basement and it starts flooding. And then you come up and Nemesis is pissed off. Whereas in this, you just get a free down.
Are you crazy? You could have barbecued both of us.
Now, don't actually need to go down there. The whole thing of coming in here and doing this was just triggering this scene. And what this does is causes the jewel that I need to appear in the next section. Whereas if I went to the press office first, the jewel would be in the sewer, or in the basement here of the restaurant. So it's a cool little way to see some new scenes. Now, if you dawdle too long in here, his ass just gets up. Now, you can down him again. He will not drop another item here. There are like set encounters where he has a drop, and he will only have one drop each.
Our mission is to rescue the civilians.
How kind of you. Considering Umbrella caused all this in the first place, those liars.
Look, we're just mercenaries, hired hands. No time for talking. If you can believe me, then join us. Think about it.
Hired hands, my dude. So this first aid box is a really cool item, and it's still only in this game. And it's pretty obvious looking at it, but it has 3 first aid sprays. And Nemesis is already here. Luckily there's a save room right here. He's not allowed to enter these rooms, that is illegal. He'll be sent to the gulags and spanked. So I don't believe I need to go into the lockpick for now. Grenade launcher shouldn't be needed anytime soon. So yeah, that is just straight up 3 first aid sprays there. And one thing that's kind of nifty about that is you can actually put other first aid sprays in it once you use one that's in there. So it's a cool way to have like bulk healing without losing too much inventory space. Unfortunately, you know, a lot of people that aren't going to fight Nemesis because maybe they're, you know, new to the game or something, will likely not see this item. You don't get your first one until you down him 3 times, and you don't see your second one until you down him 6 times. All this yapping I'm doing while playing it, I know I'm gonna forget something and feel like a fucking idiot. So this is still part of the restaurant encounter table. There's really no reason for me to down him again right now. There's also one encounter with him that even if you down him, you won't get an item, and I'll point that out when I get there. Really cool close-up of a zombie on that picture. I'd like to know how they got it and then managed to, you know, print it. Nice little jump scare for you. Yeah, so if I would have come here, I would be getting cornered by Nemesis in this room and meeting Carlos. So the enhanced handgun, not only does it do more damage, it also has a higher crit chance, and the fire rate is just substantially better. Like, this thing is, it's just so good. So now he just straight up appears instead of having like a choice decision. And sometimes he just doesn't want to let you get by. So him picking you up there, I don't think it actually does damage to you. I'm pretty sure the implication is just that he is attempting to do to you what he does to Brad in the cutscene where he kills him, and you just need to mash out of it before you're killed. I love how he just like fucking superhero landings in. I did forget something. I was supposed to grab the jewel. So I don't typically like go back to like Dario's little pantry or anything like that when I play this game, but for the sake of just showing stuff off, I do wanna show that. This body here has stuff. It's worth grabbing. Clean 30 bullets. And this man's trying to punch me while I just want to get into the city. So there is a YouTuber that does Resident Evil challenge runs, along with other things. He's done a couple of Call of Duty challenge ones called Zero Was Taken. I love his videos. I will put them on repeat in the background. And in one of his videos, he talks about how the entire, like, governing body of Raccoon City is mentally unwell, and I think he's just right on the money when you look at, you know, it's like, oh, if you need to get into like the city hall area, I hope you have all of these fucking jewels. If not, like, your meeting's canceled and you're executed. So this green car here, I don't actually know if this one is an RNG open or not. I believe this one will just always open when I come back through. But there's a car back at the like very beginning of the game, along with the car in the street area with the two dogs. And those ones you can sit and just go back and forth running by them, and it's just seemingly completely random when and if they come out. It may not be. This guy also has a bunch of shotgun shells, so grab them, they're useful. Oh, that guy didn't want to be part of the explosion. He's a fucking trendsetter. There's a cool cutscene you can get with the trolley here that I don't, or tram, that I don't typically get And it only happens if you come here with some of the tram items and not all of them to leave. The reason I'm bringing it up now is the scene is different depending on if you left that explosive barrel there or not. Just another cool thing.
You're one of the survivors from the rescue team, right? I just ran into your teammate, Carlos.
How did a girl like you manage to survive?
Hey, I'm no ordinary citizen.
Can you spot
I'm a
the
member
bad
of
guy?
STARS.
Stars? You mean the RPD Special Force Team?
Hey, is someone wounded back there?
So that is this game's Nikolai. He's still a bastard.
Oh, this looks bad.
They're coming. Get ready. Fire. Fire. Stay together.
Calm down. You're safe now. Everything is gonna be okay.
And that is this game's Mikhail. He is fucked up. I don't know if there is anything that actually tells you what he's wounded, like what the wound is, but it's not a bite, I know that.
Work together.
No, we can't trust her.
Why? But Sergeant, we need her help. Our unit's down to you, me, and Lieutenant Mikhail. That's it. And Mikhail's hurt bad. If we don't cooperate, we won't be walking away from this mission.
Fine. Then let's go over our plan. We're moving to the clock tower area, which is the designated landing zone for the extraction chopper. Once we get there and give the signal, the chopper will fly in and pull us out.
That's a lot of ground to cover. I don't think we can make it on foot.
The main problem we have is that the landing zone is cut off from here by the fire. So we have no choice but to use this cable car to navigate through it. Fortunately, we can also use it as a moving shield to get us through the worst areas.
That works for me. Good plan. Sir,
Okay, people, let's get moving.
Jill, put this on.
So Carlos is a bro there and gives us an extended inventory. Fucking love him for that. And cool wrench. So now, we get to do the Resident Evil Classic and backtrack. There are 3 items needed to get this tram going. We need some mixed fuel, we need a fuse, and we need a cable. And there will be some, fun shenanigans along the way. So yeah, that dude always pops out of there when you come through. I'm assuming he's scheduled, he's a fucking idiot. I assume he's programmed to always do it as a way to tell you, it's like, hey, that's a thing. So look for these areas. This guy also only gets up on the return trip. I'll just let him join all the other friends he had in this street, hanging out on the block with his crew. There's not really any reason to do to acquire the items in a particular order. I tend to just do them from like the furthest back and then work my way forward. One of the items needed is just right that direction back there, but I tend to just grab that last. Do need to do this though for one of them. So it's like, this is just a publicly accessible area. Can like just anyone in the public come and push that button and take this book and then just like fuck everything up? Like it's it's wild when you just look and think about how mental the concept of how Raccoon City operates is. But I love it. If I ever had a bunch of money, like, my top priority would be to like open up an animal sanctuary. But after that, I absolutely would want to just create the dumbest like house with little hidden passages and shit. So realistically, I probably could retire the handgun for now, or like for the rest of the playthrough. I don't know if I'm necessarily going to, but I will switch over to the shotgun for now. The handgun is still solid for Nemesis encounters. Yeah, surprise. We've refilled the enemies. Also, shout out to Rocco Bell. The resolution doesn't show it too well there, but so fun fact, if you're doing a randomizer, you can soft lock yourself here. If you take this compass and you don't have the compass to set it back and you never place the book there, you are just hard stuck behind electrified water right there. So there is just an overabundance of both ammunition and healing in this game. That's why like I'm just kind of not picking up some of the herbs I see. Guess now wouldn't be a bad time to mention one of the specifics of the dodge system. The speed at which the weapon prepares and fires both play a role in the dodge. So that encounter that just happened, that can be either dogs or crows. Crows are generally the best, at least I think. The dogs are just a lot more random and hit a lot harder. Anyway, as I was mentioning, I don't know if you can even dodge with the shotgun. I'm pretty sure you can, but the timing on it is so weird. Whereas, like, the handgun, it's a pretty straightforward thing. And then, like, with the assault rifle, if you have the assault rifle set to semi, because you can change the fire rate on it, something people may not know, chances are you'll end up dodging a lot if something comes at you, because you are going to be mashing that fire button a lot. So, I'm just gonna get him out of the way. Alright, so I am gonna stop here instead of going all the way back first, just so I don't carry the battery around. Why not spice things up a bit? About, I don't know, maybe like a year and a half ago, I grinded real hard on this game on retro achievements to master it, and I haven't really played the game since, because it was a lot of playthroughs. But it is something I'd like to revisit and like master it on other platforms, because I know like the GameCube version of this game has an achievement set on there as well. Shout out to Retro Achievements. If you like achievement hunting and you like old games, I could not recommend it enough. Some of the sets are brutal, and not every game is worth the hassle of attempting to master. but I think it's fun. I really enjoy it. So here we have power puzzle. There are 2 rooms to go into. One of them is going to have the other weapon that I did not previously acquire in the police station. Since I got the grenade launcher, one of them is going to have the Magnum, and then the other one is going to have the fuse item that I need. Similar to the electricity puzzle in RE2, you don't really have to math it. You can just kind of eyeball it and get a general idea of what you need. Oh shit. So I also recommend opening both doors before you like walk to any of them, because once you go in one of these doors, there's going to be a choice, and after you do said choice, you'll either leave the area or you'll still be here and the electrical puzzle changes. But if you have both doors open already, you don't have to worry about dealing with the change. So naturally, I want to go get the other item, so I'm going to increase the electricity output. I am not a bitch. I will not run from my problems. That scene is just cool, instead of her just kind of busting through the rusted door there. So now we have the Magnum. The Magnum doesn't upgrade in this game. It's like all the weapon upgrades are acquired through downing Nemesis. So I talked about how there's 7 drops, and I kind of talked about how 3 and 6 were first aid sprays, or first aid boxes. So the first 2 downs, as I've shown, are for the enhanced handgun, and then your third one is a first aid box. Your second, or your 4th and 5th down give you shotgun parts that together make a shotgun called the Western Classic, and it is a very good shotgun. It doesn't quite have the stopping power that like the enhanced shotgun has in RE2, but it is very fast. Yeah, see, right there, I walked by that police car to see if I could get it to bust open, but he was feeling shy today. Okay, need the wrench to get the hose. Fuse can wait until going back to the trim. The Magnum is not needed for now. I've got a lot of gunpowder beasts, so I'm just gonna make a little cluster of shells. So I think this will give me like 28 or 30. Okay. Yeah, like that's an insane amount of shotgun shells to get in one chunk. There is a Nemesis encounter coming up, I believe. Grab that cord on the way out. Yeah, this first time that you, like, I feel like this part can be really misleading, maybe, or I guess confusing for some people because you have to go so far back. Like, you have to go all the way back here to get this hose, but then you have to go even further back to, like, the third or, like, fourth screen of the game. Or, I mean, that I'm exaggerating a bit, but I have to go all the way back to before the police station to actually use. So these guys here, I already mentioned them before, how they're, like, greener and kind of have, like, a weird, like, look to them. These are the brain suckers. They're still not really a threat, but they're relatively tanky. So, I mean, that just inherently makes them kind of a threat. So this room here is where we had to go all the way back to. But I do actually want to go further back and show off. No, but I will go this way first to get something. Yeah, I do want to go back and show off the, because there are just a couple little things that happen if you decide to go, like, all the way back. So here's a cool thing. There's a zombie up there in that window. I don't know what his deal is. There is no way to interact with him. He just perpetually lives there. Like, I'm convinced that's just his house. And he's sucking me. So that there is the one downside to the brain suckers, is they can poison.
What did you do?
I had no choice. He was about to turn into a zombie. It would have been a threat, so I eliminated it.
But he was still conscious, wasn't he?
He was as good as dead. And it took fewer bullets to kill him now than it would have if he had transformed.
So, yeah, Nikolai's a real cool and trustworthy guy.
Not now, I'm busy.
At least he's clearing the guy's browser history. So this room here is another one of those puzzles that just has like a few predetermined things, but all you have to do is just watch a little bit of the television. Whatever the product they're advertising, that is your password. There's like 3 different ones it can be. It can be like AquaCure, it can be Safsprin. I am drawing a blank on what any of the other ones are. Also, the keyboard is in alphabetical order instead of a QWERTY, and it throws me off every time. So, similar to how we got a bunch of gunpowder bees over at the electrical station, this place here has a bunch of A's, which is cool. You know, it's essentially 3 C's, which will give me a bunch of Magnum ammo. Nikolai was excited. He was hitting him with the yo. So the steam coming out of these pipes, kind of an indication that you can use the steam as a weapon. Weirdly enough, the zombies are like smart and walk away from it, which I've always thought was kind of out of character. I am now in danger from the poison. Hell yeah. You know what? No, you get to live in this room forever. It's possible to get a cool, like, triple kill headshot here if they line up right. Oh, almost. Oh, don't be a bastard. So this is the item I wanted to grab before I went back to Dario. Alright, fine, fuck it. That's fine. I can do an AAB with that and make some more shotgun shells. So this is our fourth encounter. Luckily, I don't have to fight him right now, and I won't. He can sit his happy ass down and wait a minute. So now I'm done with the wrench until I use it with the crank. Oh god, where's my reloading tool? The box gets really messy in this game. Just a lot of that is attributed to just the excess of items. Oh, you bastard. I didn't even put my ribbons away. Okay, I might die here. So, similar to before, you can still use this corner. And it won't take nearly as long to down him because of just how much better this pistol is. Fortunately, the zombies can kind of make this annoying. But Nemesis can also be cool and shoot them for you sometimes. Boom! Get fucked, nerd. He'll also get annoyed at them being in his way and just fucking do that, and I love it. So that is the first stone. I'm not gonna have the ammo to do this with just the pistol, which is fine. Oh, didn't get around him in time, but it's whatever. He doesn't actually have a line of sight on me to fire a rocket there. Like, his AI wants to. so that gets us the first part of these shotgun parts. And now can continue backwards towards this this extra little journey. I'm not gonna save again because I did waste some excess ammo there. So if I die and have to do it again, it's actually not the worst thing in the world. Gonna combine some of this gunpowder just to make some room and get it out of the way. Shout out to Kendo's Cut using this hallway. One of the things that happens if you come back here. Not a particularly interesting one, but... there's also a chance for Nemesis to be here. I don't know if it only happens if you don't down him. So the reason I wanted to come here after I got the crank was for this right here. You can come back here with this particular crank and get 18 grenade rounds. It is so much ammo for no effort at all, given how close you are already with having to go and get the oil additive. I'll cut through the bar. Yeah, not sure what's up with that guy. I don't know if Brad just didn't do a good job or what, but... These streets are so filthy. One thing the Resident Evil series loves doing is just kind of refreshing enemies when you hit certain story beats. Oh, interesting. So I guess if you come here at some point before Dario's area is accessible, there will be a scream that happens out there. So as you can hear, someone is being eaten. That is Dario. He left his pantry and now he's getting his entire ass eaten. And you know, good for him. I'm gonna try not to be jealous. But you do get some gunpowder in his diary or memo, however they want to put it. But that is 2 more C gunpowders. Go say hi to Dario. Hi, Dario. He's all delicious and shit now. Yeah, I've always found it interesting in this game how there's just an influx of these zombies that'll just fucking run at you. I actually did not know that there was like a cutoff point for the scream. I will take this way through the street. I didn't take it the first time, but now that there's a chance, this police car could be opened up. Nope, didn't happen. Sag. Nope, yep, that's the Y alley. So one of the things I really like about this game is the fact that you can take varying routes around, and it really feels like you're getting to at least kind of explore the city. So this here is the boutique. You can only access it with the boutique key, which I don't think is in this version of the game because you can just pick the costumes, but in like the PlayStation version, you unlock costumes through just game completion, and you would have to go in there with the boutique key and try them on. You can be like Regina from Dino Crisis, you can have like Jill's RE1 Stars outfit. I never really played around with alternate costumes much, so I don't remember what all they are, but I think there's like 5 of them. There's quite a few. One thing, if you don't know, is at least starting, I believe all the way with RE2, you can just have all the grenades of a type loaded into your grenade launcher. It's a nice way to save on space. I lost my reloading tool again. So that was 24 Magnum bullets I just made. Magnum bullets are strong. I feel like that goes without saying, but... Oh, let's see. So the only things left I need to grab are the cord and the oil. And before I grab the oil, I'm gonna go try and show off the cutscene at the cable car that you can get for visiting it without having every piece. So squishy. A little bit of green, just to make the life better. So the dogs are gone now. I wonder what that could mean. Oh shit, new encounter. Yeah, older RE games had this, I don't know if it was like a limitation or what, but like, they don't have like different kinds of enemies on the screen with each other. You know, excluding like Nemesis with, you know, zombies. The dogs are also gone from this room, which means something. Not sure why the audio was cutting out there, but... this is a mostly nothing decision, but you can see something cool if you jump down and get a bit of foreshadowing. So that's big ass worm carcass there, and you also get to meet the leeches early. For anyone that knows about this game at all, Nemesis is not your only boss. There is a big worm called the Gravedigger, and it's threatening. It's a menace. I'll keep those and just grab the other herbs over by where I got the book. Hey, he opened for me. What a guy. It's getting those open, like it's not necessary, but it's a treat. There's stuff inside of them. Wish I had more things to come up with to say during this downtime during the backtracking. I guess I don't talk to myself as often as I thought I did. It's like in a time where I want to, it's like just not coming to me. Okay. So I actually will drop off the power cable and the fuse for now. And we'll go and load these grenades. Them birds just be yelling about nothing. Another little zombie respawn. Doesn't particularly matter though. Mihail out doing some badass stuff. So if I would have left that explosive barrel there, he'd like roll it at that group. But since it's not there, he throws a grenade. And that's just not something that is really ever shown in these original 3 games.
My people, they were wiped out by these monsters. I can't stop just because I'm wounded.
But can't you see those monsters are also the victims of Umbrella?
Are you accusing me of taking it out on them? You don't seem to understand something. We're not really involved with the company. There's no reason for any of us to take responsibility for this mess.
I know that. And right now that's the only reason why I'm trying to cooperate with you.
I also really like the dialogue in that scene, how
Sorry. I feel so useless.
Don't. You fought hard and have the wounds to prove it.
But I'm still alive. My men aren't.
Don't think about that now. Just rest.
yeah, I like how they like vent frustrations about the other side that they know they shouldn't really have. Yeah, if you come all the way here with every piece of to get the cable car rolling, that cutscene just doesn't happen. So now, last thing you gotta do is go to the gas station and get the final piece of the oil. I'm gonna go grab a couple of things first though. Could have grabbed it earlier, but yeah, this fucking talking and thinking thing is a lot harder than it seems. I'm gonna grab the Magnum and the ammo for the Magnum for no particular reason at all. Nope. I'm not gonna forget about the ink ribbons again. So now, finally go over here and visit the gas station. Good old Stagla. Shout out to the DeLorean. Oh no, the fucking rusty ass crank broke, dude. First time you come here though with that crank and then that happens and you don't have the wrench, oh boy are you pissed.
Jill. Hey.
Someone's
the
having a
zombies are getting
good
restless.
goon sesh.
I know. I can hear them. What's going on?
Jill,
What's wrong?
they're coming. They must have sniffed us out. They know we're here.
Hey, calm down.
Any objections to my playing hero this time?
What are you doing?
He is the hero. So, he's gonna go play. Have a slight puzzle to solve. So, I know he'll never see this, but shout out to Ray Narvaez Jr. I mention him in like every one of these streams / videos. I love his content. But he's played this game many times and I still don't think he knows what his goal in this puzzle is. So, one of these is lit up. Right now it's A. What that means is I just want A lit up. It's still A. So, same thing will apply. I just want A lit up. Oh. Wow, just A's across the board. You don't really see that too often. For anyone who may look at that puzzle and not know what they're looking at, you want to only light up the one that's brightened. Typical fashion with this game, shit explodes. That happens a lot.
Carlos! No!
Relax. I'm not dead yet.
Are you okay?
I'm fine. That hero stuff is harder than it looks.
Yo, gas station's on fire. Probably shouldn't talk too much.
Ouch, my ears are ringing. We both should be deaf by now. Okay, I'm gonna scrounge up some equipment. There might not be any at our destination.
Carlos Supton, such an optimist. So now we have our 5th Nemesis encounter. I'm not really prepared for this, so I'm very well could die. And there realistically probably is somewhere you can take him to get him stuck, but it's like at this point you're pretty well arsenaled up. That just having a traditional fight with him isn't too bad. You can let him get up on his own, but it feels like it's just him wasting your time like a fucking toddler. So right there I stifled my shot to go for the dodge. And that gets us the second part for the shotgun. If I was a smart person, I would have brought the shotgun parts and the oil additive with me, but I'm not. But hey, that's okay. I'm not trying to get to the finish of this too quickly. I love this game. Like, this is literally my favorite game of all time. I can sit and play this shit on repeat. So now we have the Western Custom, and this thing is just gross with how strong it is. Like, it's... If anyone's ever... If you ever played Modern Warfare 2 and you remember those Winchesters, it's that. But we're not quite gonna get to go to the cable car yet. That's what happens if you do not clean under your foreskin. Just a heads up. So you don't have to kill or fight the Gravedigger here. The only thing you have to do is press these buttons, which can be scary if you're not, like, proficient with the movement in these games, and he will kill you very fast. But yeah, save your ammo, just hit the buttons and leave. You don't even have to attack him in the actual fight with him, and I'll talk about that when we get there. And now the cable car is ready to go.
It looks like we're ready to go. Here, take this.
Okay. Nikolai won't be joining us.
I understand. I'll operate the cable car. Let's go.
You do that, Carlos. You operate it real good.
It's looking good.
And away we go. Mikhail rubbing one out. I respect it. Alright, so though, I mentioned earlier how there is a time where you can down him and it won't matter, and that is now. You could stand and fight him, and if you down him, this cutscene just starts. But you can just quick turn and leave. Absolute badass Chad behavior.
No, the brakes are out.
So this is another choice that isn't inconsequential. So I prefer to jump out of the window.
It's useless.
I'll go over it after the cutscene. So that option determines two things. First, it determines where you start the clock tower. You'll either start here, or you'll start at like a courtyard area. The other thing that it dictates is if Carlos will either give you an item, or if he will, quote unquote, help you in a Nemesis fight later. I say quote unquote because I think it actually makes the fight harder. And I'll get into that when we get there. Yeah, but frankly, I think jumping out of the window is just the best option. You might be able to hear my cat purring because she's right in my face right now. Hi Karma, how are you?
Carlos!
Well, we both managed to survive. Maybe we can start helping each other again.
Yeah, it's been rough. But we can rest now.
No, we're the only ones left. There's no rest for the wicked. Here's a gift.
Wicked. Yeah, honestly, these freeze rounds are more valuable than anything he provides us with in the Nemesis fight. Also get a picture and an ink ribbon here. Yeah. So we're now in the clock tower. This is pretty well known for being completely removed from the remake. Except for the fact that you get a Nemesis fight outside of an area they call the clock tower. So, the music box puzzle. They give you two music boxes, a good one and a bad one to listen to. I've never really understood why, because I feel like you should be able to just kind of play it by ear and figure it out. Also, right there is the mine thrower. That gun is a huge piece of shit. It is not worth your inventory. There might be a few people out there who love it. It sucks. It is awful. And there's not even a particularly large amount of mines. And the instances where mines end up taking over for a different type of ammo that could spawn, it sucks. It's really, really bad. Someone's playing fucking Nightcrawlers up in the attic. You can just, like, look at all this healing I have, like, they flood you with it. Gonna be able to make another batch of Magnum rounds. Boom! I'm a fucking scientist. There's a dog barking outside my window. It needs to not. Alright, so the clock tower is relatively short. This game as a whole is really short. If I wasn't trying to like show things off, you could probably finish it in like 2.5 hours. So this is kind of a fucked up ambush because they start real close to you. Like it is very easy to get bit there. Once again, mine thrower, just tell it to fuck off. It is not worth your time. You're a better person than that. This game does in fact have spiders. They're like only in the clock tower. I don't know what that says about clock towers, but like... Alright, so here is where we will do the puzzle box. It even plays the correct melody for you. Now, most versions of the game, this melody is not RNG and is in fact a set in stone thing. It is going to be up, down, up, down, up. Now, as for which versions it is randomized, I think maybe the GameCube version? But I could be wrong. But even if it's not apparent by just listening to it, you could even go by like just doing the opposite of what the bad box sound was. Even in the room where the bad box was, there is also a good box you can go listen to. Mine rounds right there, but once again, fuck the mine thrower. Oh no, never mind, the mine rounds are right there. Still fuck the mine thrower though. Always fuck that thing. That thing is a trap. Might as well start carrying around this, oh wait, grab that. I don't have the other gear. I'll start carrying around first aid box. I have so many first aid sprays. So here we have Nemesis Encounter 6. If you use the light, you push him off and you do not get his drop. So if you want drops, always use the cord. It's just kind of a free down. And I just remembered I'm gonna get a first aid box here, so I don't know why the hell I grabbed it, so... I'm healthy as fuck right now. Yeah, sometimes he'll chase you there. I don't know what dictates it, because it doesn't seem to always happen. So this room can randomly be either Drain Deimos or spiders. I prefer Drain Deimos. I don't think those ones can poison you like the brain suckers can. So this puzzle's pretty infamous. Before I get into that though, Jill can't push this because she's a woman, and Capcom, no, she can sit and fight Nemesis, but she can't move this bell. More mine rounds too. Fuck those. So this puzzle here is infamous. Even if you're brute forcing it though, like, there's only 3 balls. There's only so many combinations. It's really not too bad. And it's another one you can memorize because the solution is based on what time it is. So it's 5 o'clock. I don't know what the fuck that means. I have never taken the time to learn it, so... this might be some brute force trial and error. And as a kid, this puzzle always fucked with me because, like, my brain was always like, hey, you know, the amber should go in the past and, like, the crystal should go in the future slot. And, you know, one of those solutions is real. So, like, my brain would always go, hey, wait, no, yeah, it worked before, so it's going to work every time. And it didn't. And it wasn't until later in life that I knew that, hey, this puzzle has a bunch of different solutions. Unfortunately, there's just not a whole lot interesting going on when you're doing the brute forcing. It's just trying the combinations. Oh man, are they really gonna fuck me and it's gonna be like the last thing? I've already forgotten which ball I had in the first slot before. Okay, I don't think it was crystal. I don't think I got it to that point before. The literal last possible combination, because fuck me. Cat was ready to go, had to let her out real fast. So I'm already ready to finish the clock tower. This area is short, which makes it even more baffling how they couldn't have worked it in somehow in the remake. Well, guess I'm not completely done here, but might as well be. Sanctuary, sanctuary. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and use grenades for this round with him. Inventory size doesn't really matter here. But once these bells start ringing, you won't be able to do other stuff here. So make sure to cycle your saves. Cycle your saves in every Resident Evil game, or RPG, or any game that allows it, really. Really have to wonder if this fake out ending actually got anybody. I'm sure there's at least one person who thought, oh yeah, that was really anticlimactic. So, going back to the decision I made on the cable car, if I would have used the brake, Carlos would come in and blow up his rocket launcher. He would shoot it with his assault rifle and it would explode. What would then happen is Nemesis, instead of a rocket launcher, would have these like long-range tentacle attacks, and they are substantially worse to deal with than just like exhausting his rockets. Now, I hate this fight. Not because it's difficult or anything like that. So, me being the unhealthily obsessed person I am with this game, I have tried all different like ways to challenge myself with it. And one thing I wanted to try and figure out a way to do would to be a pacifist run in this game. This is the one fight in the game where you have to do damage. There is no way to get around fighting him here. In other places where you would think that, hey, you know, maybe you would have, hey, you're supposed to do damage here, I'll point out exactly how you could not. But this is the single mandatory fight in the game. If it was not for this, you could do a pacifist run in this game. And I spent so much time, like, just thinking about it and trying to find a way to do it, and it's dumb that I can't. Yeah, also shout out to Nemesis actually dodging shots. So the freeze rounds really fuck him up. They're like exclusively meant for him, and I don't think they're in any other game. So in the cutscene before that fight, Nemesis infected Jill with the virus.
Please, wake up!
Jill has been infected with several viruses over the years. I love how that audio cuts out on this port.
October 1st, night. I woke up to the sound of falling rain. I can't believe I'm still alive.
So you can hear there she mentioned how it is now October 1st. She's been asleep for a while. But we are now at the point where Resident Evil 2 has ended. Resident Evil 2 is done. Leon, Claire, and Sherry have already left the city. That train has exploded. Birkin is done.
Don't worry, Jill. This chapel is safe.
I've been infected by the virus, haven't I?
Hey, take it easy.
I'm okay. Don't feel any pain. But that's what bothers me. If I can't feel anything, then what does that mean?
Don't give up, Jill. I'll take care of you. Whatever you do, don't let that virus beat you.
So now we get to play as Carlos. You don't really have to be too conservative when playing with him. This 100% assault rifle, as long as you're not like ADHD needing to kill everything. Hell, even if you do, it should be more than enough ammo. But one thing I kind of mentioned before is that, yeah, Jill gets infected a lot throughout her life. So in this game, obviously, she gets infected with the G-Virus. In Revelations, she gets infected with the T-Abyss virus and is, you know, she vaccinates herself with that. But then, you know, probably the big one that I would want to bring up is Resident Evil 5. She is essentially just experimented on by Wesker for you know, however long Chris is looking for her. And it's, you know, like we don't like distinctively know what all was tested on her and to what extent, but like that's the reason that she's like blonde at that point, is her body's just cells have been so fucked from all the experimenting that like the pigment production is messed up. And you know, I don't think they've ever outright said it, but I think you know, my head canon is that the PTSD from the capture and experimenting on is probably a big reason why we haven't seen her again in any of the games. Like I'm pretty sure she is just completely mentally fucked at this point, and I don't blame her. She is still my favorite protag in the series, but I think she's earned her rest. So, we don't see them till now, but this game has hunters. They suck. They're annoying. Luckily, they're not too bad to deal with. It's like, if I wouldn't have been a dumbass and blown myself up, I really wouldn't have had any problems. Or still haven't had any problems, but so luckily enough, you know, the clock tower is right next to a hospital. This puzzle gets reused in Resident Evil Dead Aim. Boy, that sure is a game. I've seen people talk about how Dead Aim is better than Survivor. I disagree. I think Dead Aim is a fucking mess. Whereas Survivor is at least a fun, stupid 45 minutes. So there's another part that there's one of two scenes depending on if I went to the 4th floor or the 3rd floor basement first.
What's going on?
And that's Tyrell, or T.
I'm one of the supervisors.
He plays a much larger role in the remake,
Wait!
whereas he just exists to die here. Nikolai flying out the window is pretty good, though. Rip T. I'm glad you got to play a much larger role in the remake, one of the few things they did right. So we're in the hospital. Whole reason we're in here is just to get the vaccine for Jill. Two reasons to come into this room. This guy is holding a code 531 that we need. Also, the positioning of this like podium thing in the corner. I need to mirror that in the other room. At least I believe it's mirroring it. This part's always kind of fucked me up, and I don't know why. So I'm going to attempt to mirror it and hope that's right. Okay, yeah. And then the 531 that was in his hand is for this. Alright. So, the vaccine is, of course, in two parts. One is up here on the 4th floor, and the other one is in the 3rd floor basement. and you get a zombie ambush. I don't know if it's just like dependent on which one you explore second, or if it is random. I honestly can't remember. But you have a full auto assault rifle, so it's not a problem. Same with the hunters here. It's like, yeah, they're the hunters in this game are a legitimate threat, but I have a full auto assault rifle, so they can eat my ass. So here we get introduced to a new kind of hunter, the hunter gammas. They're like frog hunters. They're slightly more threatening. Maybe. They have an instant kill where they vor you, so some people are probably into that. This puzzle's been known to fuck with people, but this is another one that's static. It's not randomized, it's always going to be 1-3A. I was expecting to misremember it and look like a fucking idiot, but I did the thing. So now we have the completed vaccine. Once again, another short section. But that's fine. Had a brain fart there. Yeah. Fuck off. So this room right here is another, like, I guess, kind of a trap if you're not used to the movement in this game. You get like 6 seconds to get out of here, which is, you know, fine because the door is a second away, but you know, if you're in a panic and you see you have a like 7-second timer, like if you don't know how to move with tank controls too well, I've seen people die in that room. It's like another one of those point and no return things, like make sure you don't have the vaccine and enter that room if you have anything else you wanted to grab. There were a few things I didn't grab that I could have. There were some red herbs, among a few other things. Yeah, a few like ladies can be here eating another lady, or you can get leeches there. Oh, we got Drain Damos now. They like to dance. Look at them go. So here we're gonna get to see an example of one of the like biggest mistakes I think the remake made. And that is they just completely skipped over this form of Nemesis. They just went right from like base Nemi to dog Nemi. And they like skipped over the like, you know, limiter jacket's burned, he's mutating. So Nemesis isn't running to fight you there, he's running for the chapel. And if you let him reach that chapel door before you get there, it's a game over. It's just implied that he gets to Jill and kills her. Which is funny because outside of that one segment, you know, he can't enter this room.
No way! That monster just doesn't give up.
What? I thought we killed that thing.
No, it's been waiting for you.
He's playing with us. Carlos, do you think that it's unstoppable?
No, I don't think so. I'm sorry, Jill, but I've got to go.
I'll stop him with my mouth.
And bad news. Nikolai is still alive.
Nikolai, are you sure?
Yes.
Are you sure?
But I do know that he is our enemy.
There's so many alive people in this fucking city, you know? You could get it mixed up. So that's why I didn't really worry about my messy inventory at the Nemesis fight, because I was gonna just be starting here. I can just cram these into this. Save space. One thing that I have forgotten a lot in this section is to grab the lockpick. You need the lockpick here. Although I will save, because this is the 7th and final nemesis down for an item. Yeah, this particular form of nemesis is he's stronger now. The tentacles, they have a lot of reach and they can do a lot of damage. And his entrance here is just sick. Like, he just says fuck that door. That is no longer a loading zone. Oh shit. I attempted a dodge there, but I fired too early. So this attack does. Oh, okay. He can occasionally do a variant of that where he'll slam you multiple times, and it does a lot. Oh, oh. Play it safe. I wasn't actually sure if he was going to get me there. So he doesn't even go all the way down anymore. Like, the limiter jacket is off. He is getting stronger. So he just goes down to a knee now when you down him. No. Yo, dude, why you gotta throw me though? He's such a cheeky little bastard. And that is 7 nemesis downs. Huh. Interesting. This must be a Japanese version that I didn't know about. So, normally, in the US version, that gives you an assault rifle. And that's the only way for Jill to get an assault rifle without starting on easy difficulty. I guess it just gives you an infinite ammo upgrade for a weapon in this version of the game, and that's wild. Yo. That's really cool. I learned something, and that makes me happy. Huh. That is so interesting. Yeah, Nemesis has the power to destroy a fucking loading zone, which is pretty rad. So now the natural order progression is we can go where the bell was, because the big strong man was able to clear it. If you didn't bring your lockpick, you look like an idiot right here. Huh, I'm actually kind of glad I got the infinite ammo, because they tried to give me fucking mine thrower rounds in here instead of grenades. And that is rude as shit. So I believe we are done with the lockpick forever now. Man, this playthrough is taking longer than I expected it to, but that's fine. I'm having fun. And that's what me doing this was all about. Having fun with the games I love. So now we're going to be going into Raccoon City Park. It's another relatively short area. But it can actually be super long if you do it in the wrong order. So going the other direction at the park is a kind of a lengthy section. But you can't actually finish that way without coming over here first. Was really hoping that would aggro him. So now, just take the other direction. I'd also say relatively lucky on enemy spawns, although I guess having an infinite ammo Magnum now doesn't really matter. But this room is so polarizing. You can either get these fuck-ass eels that do nothing, or you can get hunters. And boy, let me tell you, one is certainly more threatening than the other. So there's another puzzle that's static. Typically, you would have to do one of those on the side, go in and find the actual solution. But all you have to do is basically swap these. You need to get the 2 black gears on top and the 2 white gears on the bottom. Another thing that's simple, doesn't take too much time as long as you know what you're doing. That sure sounds a lot like Gravedigger. So we got a little homey cemetery here at the park. Yeah, so yeah, if you didn't go the other direction and get that park key first, then you just come all this way and then have to fucking go all the way back, and it makes this place take like double the length. Lighter. So I really have no reason to grab any gunpowder anymore. Like, she discards the lighter when she's done with it, but not the lockpick. Something you may not know about the character is, like, canonically, she was, like, taught how to lockpick because her father was, like, a career criminal. So, you know, it wasn't just kind of like, oh, you're just the designated lockpicker. Like,
all supervisors, mission terminated. Return immediately. Repeat. All supervisors return immediately. Over.
supervise this, pants grab.
I'm quite impressed you've managed to stay alive up until now.
And you seem to be doing a pretty good job of looking out for yourself. How about helping out?
I have no intention of helping you.
Because we're nothing but pawns in all this?
In a manner of speaking, you are. Our employers wanted a detailed analysis of the zombie beings which were created through infection by the T-virus.
You're saying that they deliberately sent in a military unit to be butchered by their creations?
Not exactly. Although the conditions encountered on this operation were extreme, it was an unexpected outcome that the team would be wiped out. We were only required to collect live data from the subjects. Another mutant!
Yo, you can't just call people that. It's fucking rude of you, Nikolai. Alright, so... if it wasn't obvious, the Gravedigger is waiting now. I am very sad the Gravedigger didn't make it into the remake. I feel like seeing the Gravedigger in updated graphics could have been really cool. But no, you know, they did amazing with the remake of 2 and amazing with the remake of 4 and then just fucking half-assed it for my favorite game because fuck me. It feels like a personal attack. This is a cool little cutscene as like to show him off.
What is that?
So he still does a shitload of damage. This fight is more about like spacing control. Now, when I was talking about doing like a pacifist run earlier, you may have thought to yourself, okay, what about Gravedigger? So if you wait long enough, these poles kind of fall out of place, and then you can like hit them with a knife or shoot them or something and knock them into the water. And then if you get the Gravedigger to come up in that water, it electrocutes and kills him. Meaning that you never have to damage the Gravedigger yourself if you do it that way. Frankly, if you have an arsenal, it's not worth really taking the time to wait. Because, I mean, like I said, he does a lot of damage. And just giving him any opportunity to hit you isn't really worth it. But, if I could have a pacifist playthrough, I would accept that. Maybe one day. I'm dreaming of a world where one day a speedrunner or somebody just figures out something for the courtyard. The clock tower courtyard fight with Nemesis to make my dream come true. Yeah, I guess a bus full of tourists show up to the park after you fight Gravedigger for some reason. It's also possible to get Hunter Gammas on this run. I got zombies, which is the best one, I think. You can get dogs, Gammas, or zombies. So, we're coming up on another decision, but this is the first one that I think has, like, the most ramifications. So this game actually has multiple endings. And this decision will determine if you are getting the canon ending or the non-canon ending. So, if you push him off, that is not canon. You jumping off leads down the canon path. It also, I don't know, just progression-wise, I think it's the better choice. It takes you right to a save room. And there might be people that question, okay, how do you know if an ending is which ending is canon or not? And so
Thanks, Carlos.
if you push Nemesis off, the actions that play out cause Nikolai to die. And we know that canonically Nikolai is alive due to his inclusion in future games, such as Outbreak, or him being mentioned as playing a role behind the scenes of Operation Javier, the operation where Leon and Krauser worked together. So, if you get the other ending in this game, it is like explicitly, like he is explicitly dead. There is no like up for interpretation. It is still possible to get a non-canon ending on this path. There is one other choice later. And I'll talk about that when I get there, because that's also an interesting one. Man, getting an infinite ammo magnum is wild. I actually wonder how the infinite ammo thing works with the grenade launcher, if it would just like be tied to the grenade that was in it, or if it would just give you default grenades. I just had no idea that that was a thing.
Nikolai?
I don't actually know why I came all the way here yet. I really should have done the water purification thing first. But I'm just an idiot. Yapping and playing at the same time makes me more scatterbrained than I thought. So I'm gonna backtrack a bit. It's Resident Evil now. That's part of the game, baby. So coming up is probably the most infamous puzzle in the game. People really hated it for some reason, and I don't know why. Like, it's really just like a logic puzzle, and I really like it. Well, I'm completely forgetting where the hell I need to put this. Do I just put it in here? Guess I do. So if it's not obvious, I essentially need to recreate the top pattern using the 3 lines. And it's not particularly difficult if you just use logic. Like right now you can tell A simply will not work because it has multiple sections that would fill in that need to be empty. So like right there is the first one where it would even be possible. Yeah, that might actually be the only possible. B1 could be right. So the B one cannot be correct because C cannot align in a way to make it work. Another thing that kind of helps with these two is certain ones are going to have like a 3. So just using the conjunction of like looking at the 3s and the 0s just kind of give you something to work with. 2 2 3 2 2. That looks good. I've never understood the hate for that puzzle. I think it's cool. I think it's probably the best one in the game. I get that, you know, as a kid it's probably a lot harder to understand, but kids are dumb. We were all dumb when we were kids. Something else I can show off before I leave here is this facility key I picked up. The key itself is irrelevant. It's the little card that's attached to it that can do something. And if you use it here, you can write the key, or the card on the key. And that'll let us open an optional thing later. That's something I did not know about for a very long time. Yeah, I guess it wasn't all bad that I went this direction first. I got the facility key so I can show that off at least. Another cool little fun bit is this area of the game is called the Dead Factory, and that's just a metal name. So the other puzzle for this section is this steam puzzle, and it's not nearly as interesting. It's just kind of alternating button presses. I really wish there was something more I could say about it and that was more interesting, but it's just your goal is to get the 2 lines of steam going at the same time at this end, so that way when you hit this button they both turn off. It's nothing special. It's not nearly as cool as the other side. Oh, typical Resident Evil 2-step to get through something. Had to do the water purification and then that. Yeah, I can't go here. Yeah. Shouldn't really be at any risk of death, but sadly getting pretty close to the end. But as much as I love this, all good things must come to an end at some point. Shut up. I was getting ahead of myself. I don't need to go in there yet. So, if you had pushed Nemesis off the bridge, there would be a cutscene in here where Nikolai is like pulled up into the ceiling by Nemesis and killed. He is very dead. It is not like a debatable thing. He is dead as fuck. So this is another section that people have potentially brought up issues with a pacifist run, but this cutscene itself even shows you that you don't necessarily need to damage him. So here you can fight him the old-fashioned way, or you could just do 3 acid baths. Now the acid baths are kind of worrying because he is fucking yoked in this version. Like he does a lot of damage in this form. He's also pretty good at like avoiding the acid. Just wanted to see if maybe I could get him in one just to show it off, but he's being a fussy little baby. It's actually really cool if you kill him with the acid though. The first time he gets hit with it, he melts a bit. I believe he loses his non-tentacle arm. The second time he just straight up loses his fucking head and he's still coming at you, which is just so cool. They also don't like stack, so the acid and the damage I'm dealing to him are 2 different like win conditions. So it's like even though I've shot him a bunch, I could like, God, yeah, you see how far away he just hit me from? And that shit does a lot. It's like I'd love to get the second acid bath. Yeah, unfortunately, he is pretty smart, and he sees that if the acid is coming out, that he will back off. Try one more time, see if I can maybe. Oh, yeah. Yeah, dude has no head, and he is still just going on pure fucking killer instinct. And this is why Nemesis will always be the coolest bioweapon in this series. Like, dude is down an arm and a head, and he is still just going. Like, I might be fucked. I don't know if I actually have enough time to make it out of this room. But to get to show that off, the risk is worth it. Fuck. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna make it. All because I used it in the wrong spot. Okay. You know what? That's fine. I really wanted to show off just what the acid does to him. Uh, Aiming at the things can be kind of wonky as well. But I think one thing that people may forget about is this game actually has two different aiming buttons. There's one that targets enemies and one that is specifically meant to target environmental things over enemies. So as long as you keep that in mind and use the environmental buttons, aiming for the valves is it's not really any kind of effort. So this time I'm just gonna do it the old-fashioned way.
Warning. Proceeding with operation in treatment room. Please evacuate immediately.
I still dream maybe one day I'll get to do a pacifist run. Like, it's such a stupid thing to want to do, but I've like theory crafted it so much. Cheeky little bastard. Yeah, as you can see, even with the Magnum, he takes a while to take down. Like, this is why ideally you'd want freeze rounds for him. The freeze rounds hit him twice and just do a ton of damage. Truly the best bioweapon. You know, there've been some cool creations over the years, but nothing lives up to Nemesis. Just getting dropped off in the dead factory.
Missile attack confirmed. All personnel evacuate immediately.
Yeah, missile attack. Magic missile. So you see, get some bubbles down there. That's the Nemesis's corpse, just kind of floating down into the water of the dead factory. Wait, fuck. Why did I go up here? I don't need to go up here. I also love this track. This track is so good. Also, we have naked zombies again. Who doesn't want to hang out, dicks out with the boys? Little optional area here that you can use your card for. You can grab these grenades, but if you also imprinted the key, the little card on this key, you can put it in here and get yourself a fucking rocket launcher. Yeah, you know, because why not? It seems like an odd place to give it to you. You know, after like the the big fight with Nemesis has occurred, but you know, whatever. They give you a rocket launcher to play with, and that's pretty cool. So earlier we heard Nikolai go behind and close this shutter. Like, where did these naked dudes come from after he did that?
You're still alive. Such persistence.
Nikolai?
Sorry, but there's no escape from you.
So, this is the second decision that determines the ending. You can either negotiate or return fire. Negotiating is the canonical course of action.
If you're alone, is that your plan?
I made certain none of the other supervisors survive. Since I'll be the only one who knows the really happened, I'll have more bargaining power when it comes to discussing my bonus.
Then why kill me? I'm not on their payroll.
They want you eliminated for reasons of their own. The amount is modest, but there is a reward, claim, or confirmation of your death. Although I'm sure I'll miss you, it's time to say goodbye. You can either accept death with dignity or die with regret. It's entirely up to you.
So, if you return fire, you actually just straight up have a gunfight with that helicopter.
Nikolai beat us.
It is so weird and bizarre.
I guess this is it then. But I don't want to die in a place like this. This isn't over yet. I'm not giving up, Jill. We still have a chance. Jill, that's it. We've got to find a way out of here. Now!
So Carlos is kind of freaking out, because
Warning.
in
Missile.
the non-canon ending, if you push Nemesis off the bridge, Nikolai dies. So therefore that helicopter is there, and Carlos can just fly us out of here. That's no longer an option though, so now things are a bit more stressful. Also get one of the more original timers in the series. It's just kind of like, how far away is this fucking nuke? Got some dudes here that'll nibble your toes. Look over here, here's a friend of ours. One of the 6 tyrants that got dropped off in Raccoon City wound up here in the Dead Factory. So, instead of getting to fire a railgun, this game utilizes a stationary rail cannon. And that's another reason that allows this to be done in a pacified manner. You do not have to do any damage to the Nemesis in this fight. You can just let the rail cannon shoot him. The damage you do to him will speed up how many shots it takes from the rail cannon, but yeah, I love how he just kind of drops down and he just starts eating Mr. X's fucking dick. You don't need your wiener anymore, bro. Just fucking share it. So now he's like full-on parasite. Which is what the Nemesis project originates as. It's a parasite. and I don't know if it's ever been confirmed or anything, but people have speculated that it could be like, part of the origin of Las Plagas. So shooting this guy doesn't really do much. Like I said, it speeds up the rail cannon, and I mean, it gives you something to do. Also, this like big ultimate theme of Nemesis that plays during this section is great. So now we have an area to pull him through that puts him into the direct fire of the rail cannon. So that was a hit, but I hadn't done a real ton of damage to him, so it wasn't a kill shot. That's a cool little thing too, is he will go and munch on Tyrant to try and heal up.
System overheating. Enter cooldown mode.
We do get to make one more decision though, because this motherfucker is still alive. Oh, the song. Goosebumps every time. Always exterminate the monster, because this whole scene is just so sick, and I think gives Jill good closure.
You want stars? I'll give you stars.
Definitely one of the things I think that was missing from the remake is the persistent feeling of Nemesis. He just doesn't feel as much of a menacing threat as he does here.
Jill!
It's over, Carlos.
What are you talking about? Don't you hear that? There's a second chopper, and it's here to rescue you.
But who is it? Who could possibly be looking for me?
It doesn't matter. We just have to be there when it lands.
Place your bets. Who do you think is here looking for Jill?
Thanks. You saved us.
I couldn't let you die.
Is it you?
Are you ready to finish this?
It's Barry fucking Burton.
Yeah. It's the end.
Another reason that even if this wasn't the canon ending, it would be the best one, because Barry gets to show up. That father instinct in him was like, yo, I'm not just gonna let her die.
That's it. Umbrella's going down.
And now we have a rather unfortunate turn of events. It seems that the President and the Federal Council have passed judgment over the civilians of Raccoon City. The President and Federal Council have ruled that the Bacillus Terminate operation is the best course of action for this extreme situation, and have since executed. Based on that fact, Raccoon City has been literally wiped off the map. Current reports have the death toll surpassing the 100,000 mark. Our
Hearts go out to those poor civilians of Raccoon City. So that line read there, it makes me tear up sometimes, because I can just imagine being one of those few survivors that are still trying to hold out, and then you're just met with a fucking nuke. And man, how shitty would that be? But that was Resident Evil 3. Along with various bits of knowledge I have about the game. This really is my favorite game of all time. I love it to death. Part of the reason I wanted to record myself playing all these games is in case I ever get to a point where I just can't play them anymore. I want to have the memories. I want to be sure I can remember how much these games mean to me. For anyone who may have stopped in, anyone who may come across this video, I hope you had fun. I hope maybe you learned something. I love getting, just yapping about these games, this series. I could go on and on forever. And now that we're done with the initial trilogy, God, I'm trying to think. I actually think the next game, release order-wise, might be Survivor. So that should be fun. I unironically enjoy Survivor. I think it's a fun game for how long it is. I think if it was any longer, it would be bad and overstay its welcome. Wow, they couldn't have stuck in a little bit of extra music for the PC credits. You know what, a 239 for everything I went out of my way for. I'm happy with that. So there are actually like 8 epilogues, and you can get information on all kinds of characters. Based Berry. And there we are. I hope you, once again, I hope you had fun. I hope maybe you learned something. But that'll be it for me tonight. Take care. Enjoy. Love life. Goodbye.